Hi, today we're going to look at parenting advantage. This is the concept which helps us to understand how the corporate center adds value. So, the first and starting point is to look at the corporation adding value through managing a portfolio. So, there'll be a number of companies the corporate entity owns, and the question is, should it invest or should it divest? And this is becomes the core function, probably using things like Boston Consulting Group or the GE McKinsey screen. However, is it really sufficient for us to understand value? Because in a way, it's the same as me and you can do. If we had the money, we could just decide to invest or divest. So to understand uh, other activities, other parenting activities that provide advantage that the corporate center does, we can look at the issue of restructuring, where the corporate center looks for a company that's underperforming and hopes through providing management or restructuring that it becomes a much larger company and therefore it can be sold off for profit. Sometimes called this kind of restructuring, sometimes called standalone influence, because often when this happens, it's the finance officer, a lawyer, or a CEO that looks after these businesses. But the intention always is to sell on to make a profit. The third element is sharing activities. So in the corporate center itself will have functions like HR, like payroll, and other services which businesses need. And so what it seeks to do is by providing those services to its subsidiaries, then there can be a saving made because the service is centralized. However, the problem with this may be that each particular company in of itself could go out and get the same kind of services from specialists that are out there. So it's an element of adding value, but it still doesn't quite get us to what the real, where perhaps the real value comes from. And we're going to move on to that now. And this is what many academics feel is that what a corporation can do is, when we think about it, it stands as a parent with many different companies. Well, if it can link them together and transfer skills between different companies, then there's a sharing. There may be an innovation. You could send people to poorly functioning organizations and help them bring them back to life. So this is between businesses. You can see this linkage between different companies, resulting in value that otherwise may not occur. So we can take a company like Sony, who has capabilities in electronics and miniaturization, and so they can move from everything from PS4s, cameras, and TVs, share those and transfer those skills between different business units. And finally, we have another kind of benefit, sometimes called a membership benefit, or something that happens through association. So, an example of that is where a parent with a good reputation, say Tata, owns other companies, and that name alone will give confidence and credibility to those businesses, which may help increase the bargaining power of those companies with its customers. Thank you.